When Temporal Forces launches in Pokemon TCG Live on Thursday, March 21st, 2 new decks featuring Raging Bolty X and Iron Hany X will be given away for free on the Battle Pass. This is great news as both of them are highly playable cards, meaning the amount of credits you have to spend on Temporal Forces drops. Starting with the basic Battle Pass, this is the free Raging Bolty X deck you'll receive at Tier 0. I'm not going to say it's bad. I've turned over a new leaf waiting for Twin Leaf. Instead, I'm going to be nice and say it's a choice. Aside from the 2 copies of Raging Bolt, literally every other card is already available, and there isn't even a single copy of Professor Sada's Vitality. It instead relies on Garganacl, Energy Sticker, and Gutsy Pickaxe for energy acceleration, which are unreliable choices to say the least. Yeah, without any upgrades, this is a terrible deck. Thankfully, by getting to Tier 16 of the Battle Pass, you gain 1 level per day on average, you'll receive all of these cards for free. The highlights are a 3rd copy of Raging Bolty X, as well as a copy of Prime Catcher. Though you should probably just craft Prime Catcher as soon as possible since it's arguably the best A spec. With all these upgrades, Raging Bolt finally gets close to where it needs to be. Sandy Shock's EX attaches energy from the discard pile to itself, and Professor Sada attaches energy from the discard pile to your ancient Pokemon while also drawing 3 cards. I'll be going over the strategy of Raging Bolt in my next video, and these additions definitely bring it closer to a competitive list. If you reach Tier 50 of the Battle Pass, you'll unlock a copy of the illustration rare Raging Bolty X, and another copy of this card will be given away during EUIC at the beginning of April. Once the code is known, I'll tweet it out and post it on the Discord. Switching to the Premium Battle Pass, which costs 600 crystals, this is the free Iron Hany X deck you'll receive at Tier 0. I use the new Limitless deck builder, so that's why the layout is a bit different, but I gotta say, they really knocked this out of the park. If you don't already have 600 crystals, do your daily quests every day between now and Thursday because you want the Premium Battle Pass. While it's definitely better than the Raging Bolt deck, it focuses a little too much on attackers like Iron Thorns that discards your future cards, and the bad Iron Valiant that does 120 damage instead of 200. Still, being able to deal up to 350 damage with Iron Thorns is fun. The main highlights here in terms of new cards are 2 copies of Iron Hany X, 3 copies of Miraidon, and 4 copies of Cypher Maniac's Codebreaking. Iron Crown and Miraidon both slot perfectly in the Future Box deck that will be played heavily next week, and Cypher Maniac's Codebreaking is just a good supporter that stacks your deck with any 2 cards you want. As for those Pokemon, Iron Hany X is definitely there for moral support, you won't be attacking with it. Instead, you'll take advantage of the 20 damage boost each Iron Crown provides to hit harder with Miraidon and the other future attackers. By reaching Tier 14 of the Premium Battle Pass, you'll get all of these cards for free. For those who like having the same arts of cards, well, the PTCGL devs hate you. You get 3 copies of the illustration rare Iron Hany X, meaning you'll have to mix and match arts if you want to have a full playset in the deck. But if you've waited this long to craft Iron Hands EX and Iron Valiant EX, great news! The special arts of those cards are also going to be free. You also receive a copy of Reboot Pod, which attaches an energy from your discard pile to each of your future Pokemon. It's a great card, but if you're low on credits, just craft Prime Catcher day 1 and wait until you naturally unlock Reboot Pod. Just like Raging Bolt, I'll have details on the Future Box deck in my next video, but these upgrades will be a massive help, as Iron Hands EX becomes a crazy attacker able to do up to 220 damage with Amp You Very Much and take an extra prize card with a knockout. Finally, at Tier 50, you'll receive a 4th copy of the illustration rare Iron Hany X, meaning you won't have mismatched arts anymore. I know I say this in every video, but people still ask the question constantly on Reddit, so here you go. Yes, it is always worth buying the Premium Battle Pass for 600 crystals, even if it's just for the free deck. And no, it's never worth buying the Premium Pass Plus for 1800 crystals. The Temporal Forces Battle Pass will only be available for 2 months. It will then be replaced with the Twilight Masquerade Battle Pass on May 23rd, meaning you only have about 60 days to claim the free decks before they're gone. Now that we know the 2 free decks with Temporal Forces, I can update the crafting guide. Only removing the cards you get at Tier 0, which are 2 copies of Raging Bolty X, 2 Iron Hany X, 3 Miraidon, and 4 Cypher Maniac's Codebreaking, it will now cost you just under 18,000 credits for the best cards in the set. And these aren't the end of the free decks. With rotation also happening next week, the 8 free decks given away by default to everybody will switch out. So if you've never downloaded PTCGL, make sure you do that now. You get at least 9 free decks for like 5 minutes of gameplay.